scientist at the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and that's exactly what we do. We regulate nuclear power plants. And I have a personal community outreach program called Science Exploration for Kids, so we can encourage them in the math and science. Now take your Q-tip with the soap side, put it into the cup. Now take it in the middle of your plate, right in the middle of the colors. Seeing children having so much fun in science really gets my heart going. So if I were to win the title of Miss USA, my plan is to inspire and encourage so many children and women in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics field.
Welcome. Give it up again for Miss USA. Oh, it's on. Hello. So how does it feel? Has it hit you yet that you're Miss USA?
So I'm extremely thankful. Some days I'll turn my head and look in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, like that's Miss USA. And honestly, it really does feel like that. I'm just so proud of myself as well. And just this entire experience has been so gratifying. I mean, I'm just so thankful to God for this.
How did your family respond?
I mean, I think everyone is still in shock as well. My entire family is like gelling back together again. My mother, we speak every morning as it is. And, you know, she's just extremely proud of me, and that's what she said. My father said the same thing, and I'm the baby of like 5 siblings. So to have like all their support as well, and they're saying like, you know, like I'm the one like gelling everyone back together, it feels really good.
So did you know in that moment during the pageant that you were going to get crowned? Did you have any doubts, or what was going through your mind?
You know, I'm a human. I did have doubts, actually. I actually felt really defeated during prelims. I thought I did terrible, and I really had to digress and just pick myself up. And then when I was called for like top 10, I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this real? Like, I made it this far, I'm thankful. And then top 5, then top 3. And then I just stood there and I just started asking God for guidance. That's it. I just stood on top 3 and was like, thank you for this opportunity, for getting me so far. Just continue to guide me no matter what happens. Like, I know like my life is going to go on.
So did you have those final seconds? What were like, did you like freak out when you were standing there with Miss New Jersey, right? You were just like, were you thinking, like, what was going on?
So apparently the camera got so close to my face, you could see me mouthing something. And if you were able to read lips, because you're an expert at that, I was, like I said, I was praying. I just closed my eyes, and I was really tuning out everything that was going around externally. And I just dropped my head, and I prayed. I prayed so hard, and I just started crying, too. And I was like, I'm just thankful for the opportunity.
So we have that clip, if we want to roll it.
Oh, really?
Relive that moment.
Miss USA 2017 is District of Columbia!
So we saw in that clip, the previous Miss USA, Deshauna Barba, is from District of Columbia as well. What impact and statement are you guys making?
I believe we're just making a statement of breaking stereotypes. Deshauna is a dynamic woman. Like, if you really have the opportunity to get to know her, you would be just so intrigued by conversation and everything that she has to offer. And I'm just so thankful for the way the Miss Universe organization is transitioning. They want women that, of course, yeah, like, you're beautiful, you know that, but hey, you have a story behind you. You have something that's going to impact the world. And then I believe that's what both Deshauna and I both, bring to the table. She brought the military illness situation and trying to, speak on that. And for me, it's STEM enrichment, honestly, being a woman who stands strong in what she says and doesn't back down by any type of, mainstream ideas.
So you're a scientist. How did that happen? Like, when you were a kid, did you know you loved the periodic table? Like, how did that happen?
Definitely. I had actually always had a very strong, penchant for science. So living in Japan, we lived in towers on base, right? So
you're a military child.
Yes. Yeah. So they guys, don't judge me. They had like trash rooms downstairs. So we would always kind of like venture into there and picking stuff up, whether it's like, chairs or something, but I ended up finding this science kit. So at the time I was like in the 3rd grade, I brought it upstairs to my mom, and she was actually kind of disgusted, so she made me throw it away. But I've always had like this liking for science, and then I was so ready to take chemistry in high school, so my junior year, I had a phenomenal chemistry teacher, Mrs. DuPont. She knows that. I actually saw her when I graduated from college at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I told her, like, she was the reason why I majored in chemistry. But the latter half of that is I actually struggle with math as a child. So I know what it's like to sit in a classroom and have literally no comprehension of what is going on. You're taking a test and you're guessing on everything. So that is why, like I said, I started my program, Science Exploration for Kids, because everyone has a different way of learning, and that's an aspect I wanted to bring into classrooms, whether I'm teaching, tutoring children, and also just get kids geared up for STEM so they can, like, think of it like it's fun, get their imagination going, get their like methodical approach, like really just kind of like, ready for anything that happens to them in life.
How do you approach that with kids? Because, right now technology is at the forefront. Kids might want to play on their iPads. How do you get them into, science and math?
You make it fun. I mean, I love to have fun. That's how my life has always been. And like when it comes to doing like the science projects in school, I love getting the groups of kids together. We actually read the procedure as if we're like in a laboratory, and then we do popcorn reading. I think that's just amazing, like reading comprehension. The kids are so ready to read. That's what really just like puts like a lot of happiness in my heart. And then when it comes to like high school students, and like I'm trying to get them to understand their math homework or something like that, I make them read the question like out loud, and then I say afterwards, okay, what is this asking? And then they write down what the question is asking. So it's all about really breaking it down, because, like I said, you can be somewhere and have no comprehension. And that's just the aspect I want to bring, to help them break out of that doubt and that fear. Let them know it's not difficult. Use your surroundings. Like, you can be impacted. Honestly, the answer is always right there in front of you.
That's true. And back to the clip, I know when you and Deshauna were up on stage, it was a very positive moment, and everyone was so glad that you embraced your natural hair. And I know you said in previous interviews that you were afraid prior to wear your natural hair in pageants. Why is that?
Now the fashion industry is really transitioning and showing the natural textures, right? So due to precedents, there weren't any women on stage, a pageant stage, a competition stage, with their naturally curly hair. You were always told that wearing your natural hair was unprofessional. It didn't look clean on stage, and that was actually my fear. So the first, 3 years of me competing, my hair was straight, fried on top of that, okay? Yeah. And I decided, I'm gonna wear my hair natural because this is me. This is when I feel the most liberated. Although it took a lot of convincing to get like other people on board, when they finally saw the vision, look, everyone's in love with it. And that's a message I want to send to so many young women and children worldwide as well. You have to be so strong in knowing yourself and your conviction that if anyone ever tries to bring, some type of other advice to you or doubt you, they're going to see like this, unspoken strength in you that all they can absolutely do is believe what you said because you're that confident. Always be open to criticism, but be so aware of yourself that you take what you need and leave what you don't.
And do you think that now pageants are more inclusive?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that goes along with just like the paradigm shift in general with the competition. The Miss Universe organization, like the new motto is confidently beautiful. So it's just like an inclusive environment where they want women to really be progressive now. It's not even now, but they want women to just be progressive and just show what their passions are. And they're hoping to, impact the world. But for me, I'm hoping to be impacted by so many other people.
Do you have any advice for, women who want to be in pageantry and how to handle the questions and everything that goes on with it?
Yeah. Always be authentic. That's rule number one. I can't stress enough. When someone sees this light in you because you're just being yourself, it's like I said, it's going to exude so bright that they have to believe you. And additionally, you have to listen to the news. So although, not to say you need to agree with everything people are saying, like you said, take what you need, leave what you don't, but be very aware of what's going on in our nation. Not trying to say you're being a politician, but you're having an opinion, and that's the most important part.
So outside of Miss USA and your day-to-day at your company or your agency, what was your day-to-day like?
Right. Trying to think.
What was it
I almost
like?
forgot. Oh my gosh, no. Honestly, waking up,
At the in your agency is
7, getting to work by 8 o'clock, shoving some like boiled eggs down my mouth on my way to work. But absolutely, I was like in a cubicle. So, whether it was meetings I had to attend, doing licensing and regulations. If you guys didn't know, her dad actually works in the same agency as me.
Yes.
So, which is so
Found that out.
fascinating.
Yes,
Yeah. Right. So, and he could probably share some too, but it's, you interact with like a lot of licensees and applicants, potential applicants. So before I left, I was actually working on a potential application for a medicinal power reactor. That's trying to get, basically a construction permit domestically because we don't have any domestic medicinal power reactors right now. So we get all of our Molly 99 from European countries or just basically, like external from the United States. So they're trying to get them licensed domestically so we can make sure these patients are getting the medical isotopes that they need for treatments.
And for those who didn't know, her agency is the United States
Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
So
Yeah.
it's a big deal. So back to you, you were talking about how close you are with your mom. And your mom was in the military.
She was.
Okay.
So my mother was in the Navy. She spent 23 years. She was a chief petty officer, actually.
Wow. And so what did you learn from your mom that helped you to this journey now?
So many things. First and foremost, my mother took on 3 children that weren't hers. So that's a true testament of a woman who loves. And she saw 3 kids that needed a mother because their mother passed away from an asthma attack. And with her being in the Navy, she made sure she did everything possible so that we all could have a wonderful life. We went through like a lot of hardships, like especially like her past as well and being raised by her grandparents. And knowing that she was a woman in the Navy, she did like cryptologic stuff. I actually, truth be told, I wasn't supposed to know. So all I know is like her title. So when I tell people that, they're like, whoa, that's big. So the more I've done research into it, I witnessed how strong my mother was and still is. And the thing about it is she's not boastful about it. And unknowingly, I picked up all of those characteristics from her. And some days I do things, and our mannerisms are exactly the same. I'm like, when and how did this happen? But just her being strong, independent, overly caring, sharing everything she has, including her last, I know has really aided me into just being, a strong woman today that I am.
Wow, that's awesome. And do you have any like de-stressors? Like, what do you do to just like relax and de-stress from the world?
Definitely. Well, I love getting my nails done. So that's big right there. Additionally, I love like aromatherapy. So I have like the aromatherapy, like essential oils, and I put them like on my pressure points, the back of my neck. I have one for like sleep, headache, and de-stress. So that actually helps me. Yeah. And I love music. So I have a nice little music box. I don't know what it's really called actually. And I plug up my Pandora to it, and I just go. Like music really gets me going, whether it's instrumental, hip hop, gospel. Actually, I love all music. So that's what really just kind of like gives me zen.
Do you have a favorite artist?
I do. I have a couple, honestly. I'm a big Kanye West fan, to be honest. I love his music. When I'm in the gym, I'm playing like his Pandora station. Yeah. I love J-Lo still, so I love.
That's okay. J-Lo's still rocking.
I love J-Lo. Okay,
Yeah.
I will get down to her music any day. So her and Murder Inc. Like that was just like a great compilation right there. I know I'm taking it back, so don't judge me, guys. But like, there's so many, and I just love music in general. Of course, Beyonce. So she just gets you like wanting to shake on something, right? I saw you right there doing it. Definitely, and that's really it. Yeah.
So you just moved to New York.
I did.
So how is it?
It's amazing. I've always wanted to live here, being completely honest. So when I first moved to like DC after graduating from South Carolina State, my cousin lives up here. So she was living in Midtown. Now she lives in Harlem. I would be here every weekend because I really didn't have any girlfriends in DC at the time. But I would have had so much fun here, like from like just like going to brunch and then us just like dancing the night away. So like I've always wanted to live here. The fashion's amazing, and everyone is just like has a purpose. That's why I love coming here. I mean, I'm so glad I met you. So this is amazing.
Too. So what is there something that we don't know that you haven't given an answer in the pageantry? Something about you. I mean, I know that I found out that you used to coach high school middle school basketball.
6th and 7th grade girls. I do it with
Yes.
a local sports organization, actually.
Okay. So something else.
Skills and scrimmages, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that you would want us to know?
So I actually went skydiving when I was in college. My roommate from Puerto Rico, so she and I did an internship together at the North Carolina State University, NC State. She was a chemistry internship, and the last day she was like, "Hey, you want to go skydive?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, okay. She's like, "Don't flake on me." When she said that, I was like, dang, I can't get out of this. So I don't think I knew I was about to go skydiving until I got to literally the edge of the plane at 13,500 feet. And then my tandem instructor was like, "There's no going back now." And he was right. We jumped off and my neck was back and that was the end of it. But that experience taught me commitment. So if I can share that with anyone out there, if you're going to do something, you agree to it, don't back out.
Okay. Do you have any daily words of affirmation you tell yourself each day? Yeah. Any kind of motivation?
Definitely. Like I said, for me, it's just like guidance. I've never been the one to ask for anything in prayer, but I'm realizing now you're supposed to. You're supposed to ask him to, give you clarity in situations. Not necessarily like something tangible or a certain achievement, but I ask for guidance. That's all I do. Like I pray at night and I'm just like, guide me, show me, tell me, just guide me. That's my affirmation.
Do you have, what is next for you as far as like using this platform as Miss USA? What do you want to accomplish with this new platform? I
mean, there's so many things, but definitely the biggest thing is expanding my program, Science Exploration for Kids. It originally was a self-funded program, and I would love to really just get it going, especially around like the New York area, get children more interested in studying STEM subjects, and just get them inspired, like I said, to make it seem like it's easy, and venture off into the high schools, do symposiums with them, show them the benefits of majoring in STEM subjects. There's so much offered, from internships to scholarships to jobs. And I just, I would love to gear up so many children, especially young women, at a very innocent age, so they can just feel so in love with it. And actually, I just got off the phone with one of my sisters on the way up here, and she was telling me my nephew was like, I want to be a scientist now, Mom. Oh. Yeah, it's like you don't even realize the impact you have on the people around you. Yeah. So it's like little things like that just make things, just make my heart just do tumbles.
Yeah, I think definitely the misconception of scientists are just in the lab mixing up different things and it's just blowing up. I think that's, a lot of people don't know, there's more to it, right?
Yeah, you're actually the first person to say that without me having to say it. That's because you have experience. Yeah. Exactly. So I know when I tell people I work for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, they're like, right, they're thinking lab coat, goggles, but that life necessarily, I don't think it was for me. I thought research was cool, but I really wanted to try something else because I did research all throughout college, especially in the summertime. And for us at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, it's like I said, a lot of licensing and regulations. We're making sure that the guys operating these nuclear power plants are doing the right thing. We have to make sure they're keeping everybody safe. And I will admit, I spent 3 months at a nuclear power plant. I went to McGuire as well as Catawba. They're both in the North Carolina area. Catawba's Rock Hill, South Carolina. And I mean, I was boots and all, literally wearing steel-toe boots every day, which was probably very unflattering for me. And jeans and chambres, because I didn't have any khaki pants and stuff like that. But boots on the ground, literally. And I had the opportunity to really understand how a nuclear power plant operates. So if anyone else can get involved in that, you will have a newfound respect for the way energy operates.
Wow. And I think it's awesome, like you mentioned earlier, about breaking stereotypes in the pageantry world. Are you probably the first scientist to get Miss USA?
I will be honest, I haven't fully done the research. I would love to take that accolade right now and say that. Before I speak on that, I'm going to do the research and we'll post the answer up here later. Yeah.
So we're going to take some questions from the audience.
I wanted to know who inspires you and how was it competing against all those women? How did you overcome the pressure of it all?
Okay. So I have 3 answers, of course, to all that. Who inspired me? For one, of course, my mother, as I just explained. And another woman from the past is Annie Turnbull Malone. If we all know who Madam C.J. Walker is, right? Raise a hand, somebody. Oh, no. I'm just playing. We'll talk about it later. But Annie is actually Madam C.J. Walker's mentor. So many people don't know her, but this woman actually was the first millionaire black chemist. She made her $1 million empire actually off of marketing her hair care products to women like in the St. Louis area. But the best part about her was that she used her wealth to actually help so many women get their educations. She was giving out like diamonds for Christmas. She made sure she was giving back to her community. So she was an entrepreneur, chemist, as well as a philanthropist. And your last part of your question was, how did I compete with so many women? I actually trained with this organization called PR Pageant Coaches. PR Pageant Coaches. They're absolutely amazing. And we had these things called team building. And in team building, you're literally sitting in a group of like 40 girls, maybe 10 girls, like in a kumbaya circle, and you're sharing stories, you're asking questions, you're getting to know people. And in that moment, like after our training, it hit me like, wow, you're only in competition with yourself. So you have to like literally tune out everything external and only focus on being that best person that you know you can be.
And to that point, like, how do you approach that in real, at work, in real life? Because women, we don't, a lot of times we don't support each other. We're trying to come together as a whole, but sometimes you still feel that competitiveness. Like, how do you approach that?
Definitely. Like you said, it's just something natural that we can't get away from. But like I said, when you are very sure in who you are, nobody can tell you anything differently. And when I walk into my agency, I walk with my shoulders back, my head held high, because I know I worked hard to be here. And I'm not going to sit here and say there wasn't times of doubt where I was like, maybe I shouldn't sit at the table during this meeting. But no, actually one of my mentors, Andrea Vale, said that. She goes, you sit at the table when you walk into a room. And that's something I think we all need to also take heed into.
Awesome. Next question.
Hi, yeah, so you just talked about your role models a little bit, but so I was going to ask you, how does it feel now to be, like, on the other side of that? You're now a role model to so many other young women and just people in general, and now that you have this national platform and it's about to be, you're going into Miss Universe too, how does it feel to just now have this status as a role model to so many different people?
Right, so for one, it's extremely surreal to know that, like I said, that someone's looking at me like, wow, you inspire me. So to know that I've had some type of effect or allure someone is just so, like, gratifying in my heart. But I feel like I haven't made it fully, I still have so much to do, so like this huge margin of area of improvement. And I know that I'm still looking up to so many other people. I'm looking at you guys in here. I think this is like phenomenal. I'm like, I never knew about stuff like this. I think it's cool. I'm looking at her. I'm like, this is amazing. You're on this show right now. Like you're hosting it. I'm like, that is cool. But like I said, I'm always going to be humble because I live with the growth mindset. I'm not going to ever tell myself, you know what, Kára, you can coast, you hit a plateau. Like, no, there's still always areas of improvement. Always.
Last question.
Just want to say congratulations. And what's your plan for Miss Universe? I know it's a bit soon, but do you have a favorite Miss USA or Miss Universe? And what are you going to show at the pageant soon?
Definitely. I mean, I'm gearing up for Miss Universe, and I think like all this right here is preparation for it, right? It's just so many things to honestly prepare for that I haven't even had the time to truly like map out what I want to do. And I was asked what I want my gown to look like, and I'm like, I don't know, but I just think I'm just trying to like understand more so who I am, what message I want to get across as Miss USA first. And then as Miss Universe approaches, then I'm going to be able to reach, my potential more, reach the masses of people. But of course, not to say we all have favorites, but I love Deshauna. I think she's such a dynamic person, like I said earlier. And she broke the stereotype. And she also gave me an opportunity to be the person that I naturally and authentically wanted to be for the Miss Universe organization. And one of my favorite Miss Universes, of course, right now is Iris. She and I are getting to know each other. And I think she is just such a sweet person. She just comes from humble beginnings. And just her aura, everything coming off of her is just so amazing. And I love Pia. I haven't had the opportunity to meet her, but I just thought she was just so cool. She stayed calm. The way she would speak in her videos, it wasn't like very calculated. She was just like so natural with it. And I just think she was such a gorgeous queen, and I'm happy for her and all her success. Like, look her up. She's like totally the Beyonce of the Philippines right now. That's big, okay? But no, I really appreciate your question.
And so what's next for you as far as the short term? It can be even personal. I know you're trying to soak all this in. So, like, what are you doing next? Are you putting, scientists on hold? Are you, you can't take a vacation right now, can you?
No, I right now, like you said, this first week has been media week, and I've been, like you said, soaking in everything. It's amazing. My life literally just like turned around in a couple of hours. I went from sitting in a cube to sitting up here, and I'm so thankful for this opportunity. But I think like short term, like I said, it's just like capitalizing and being the best Miss USA possible, so I can like reach so many children, especially young girls. In addition, like I said, I would love to really expand my program, Science Exploration for Kids, and I'm looking forward to maybe even dabbling in something new, like working with our sponsor organizations, Best Buddies, Smile Train, maybe take some cooking lessons from somebody, or go on tour with Guy because I love his show. So hopefully you're listening. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Well, everyone give it up again for Miss USA, Kára McCullough.
Thank you. This was fun. I've had a lot of fun.